What a beautiful sound. String music, as some would say. It's a sound that every hooper loves, not just because of how satisfying it is, but because it only comes from a perfect shot. The ball has to come within your perfect trajectory, perfect angle, and perfect backspin. If only we could get a swish every single time. Let me ask you a question. What's the most amount of shots you've made in a row? For people who don't play, maybe 3 in a row. For people who play regularly, maybe 5 threes, 10 mid-ranges, 20 free throws. Now let me ask you this. What if you never missed? What if you learned to put the ball in the hoop every single time? Many of you have probably felt the frustration from missing shots without a proper explanation. It feels good when it leaves your hands, but it just doesn't go in. So what's actually stopping each and every one of us from just making it in every time? Let's take a look at the physics of shooting a basketball. Now this is one of the most complex actions in all of sports. There are so many little things that you have to do right. Hand placement, knees slightly bent, loaded wrist, 90-degree elbow, eye on the rim, strong flick, all in one continuous motion. And the moment a ball leaves your hands, none of that matters. It becomes a projectile, an object in free fall affected purely by initial conditions and gravity. A basketball is 9.4 inches in diameter, and a rim is 18 inches in diameter. So your margin of error is 4.3 inches on each side. When you're close, this doesn't really matter. But when you're 25 feet out, even the slightest change in angle changes everything. And that's also another reason why shooting consistently is so hard. No matter how many times you practice a movement, your body cannot reproduce it identically. Every new workout creates micro tears in your muscle fibers, forcing your body to adapt and change, no matter how tiny the difference is. As human beings, it is impossible for us to be perfectly consistent. We are fundamentally incapable of flawless duplication. Mathematically, it is possible to never miss, but biologically, not really. So shooting a basketball is pretty hard. We've established that. But what's the limit? Just how long can you stay making shots? Humans can actually achieve the illusion of never missing, but it's just an illusion. Look at NBA players shooting around in practice or at casual runs. Bench warmers turn into machines, picking shot after shot like it's nothing. But everything changes in an actual game. Let's take a look at Steph Curry, the undisputed greatest shooter of all time. In his best season, at his absolute peak, he was shooting 45% from 3. Now, if you told that to a non-basketball fan, they wouldn't really understand what makes him so special. After all, that percentage means that on average, he's missing more than he's making. The presence of a defender, somebody trying to stop you, completely changes everything. Choking under pressure isn't just a saying used to make fun of athletes. It's a real phenomenon proven by studies. When under pressure, the prefrontal cortex starts micromanaging movements that are usually automatic. Basically, all that muscle memory seemingly disappears. So even if you do tune your body to an elite level, it doesn't guarantee anything. If you think the wrong way, you're gonna miss, because there's a whole nother mental side that you have to control as well. Let's look at the most basic shot in basketball, a free throw. Its level of difficulty is in the name. The highest free throw percentage in an NBA season was actually by Jose Calderon. The man shot 98% from the line, making 151 of 154 free throws for the season. Pretty damn good and impressive. But he did miss 3 times. Even though it's a free throw, it can still be difficult. Having an away crowd try to distract you, or whether it's late in the game and your body is exhausted, a free throw is never truly free. Now let's look at field goals, where Mitchell Robinson in 2020 had the highest percentage at 74.19. Except you also have to remember that pretty much all his shots came from within 2 feet of the basket. And the highest 3-point percentage was 53.6% from Kyle Korver. You can start to see what the pattern is. The farther away you are, the harder it is to score. Also keep in mind that these records are based on a minimum amount, because if you shot 1 3 and made it, and just never shot again, you would have a percentage of 100. but we're not accepting that. So in an actual game, it is pretty much impossible. But what if you're just shooting around at practice? How far can you go without missing? I'm sure many of you have seen this video, but this is Steph Curry shooting threes for 5 minutes straight. His streak was 105. But what's interesting is that this is not the record. In fact, it's not even close. This is a random old guy named Fred Newman, who made 209 three-pointers in a row, 45 minutes straight, of 3 after 3 after 3. The craziest part is that he's not even a good player. His shooting form is actually terrible, and he played back in 1959 with no records of his stats anywhere. But he got this record not from his basketball skills, but from his computer science skills. He came up with a concept called calculus of physics, which emphasized that you need to throw the ball high enough to maximize the target size. His magic number was 13 feet. Before he shot, he exhaled completely and held his breath, what he called a Zen pause. The purpose was to remove as many variables as possible, minimize as much room for error as he could. But he achieved this feat in an empty gym. In fact, most of these so-called shooting records don't really mean much. They are done in a static environment tuned to the player. But there is one man that is on a whole nother level, the closest we've ever seen to perfection. 99.19%. This is the shooting percentage of Dave Hopla. But this wasn't based on one session, or one day, or 1 week. This was his field goal shooting percentage for an entire year. 11,093 shots out of 11,183. The shooting coach traveled all around the United States in 2007, going to basketball camps and teaching people how to shoot. He meticulously marked down all of his shots. Yes, every single shot. He did it in 2005 too, shooting 35,979 shots and sinking in 35,332 of them, shooting yet again a staggering 98.2% for the year. In fact, he was so good at shooting that NBA teams hired him just so he could turn them around. In just 2 months of working with the Raptors, he took them from shooting 30 to 40% from 3. Andre Drummond is one of the worst free throw shooters ever, but after just 1 season of working with Dave, his percentage jumped from 38 to 60. Every NBA team he worked with saw unbelievable results from his coaching. After all, he was called the shot doctor for a reason. There's a lot we can learn from this man, because he does a lot of things that separate him from everyone else. The glaringly obvious one is him tracking his shots, something I've never heard of anyone else doing. But he doesn't just note down his makes and misses. He notes down the distance, the environment, the constraints. He strips away all emotions and instinct, relying solely on data. He was obsessed with numbers, and I know it sounds odd, and perhaps even psychotic, but he is one of the best shooters we've ever seen. His career percentage for almost 50 years has been 98%. He doesn't lose a step at all. It's honestly strange that he isn't more popular. You might say it's because he's not a pro player, but his shooting is better than that of even the best NBA players. Although we'll never see anybody who never misses, who makes every single shot no matter what, he's pretty damn close. In fact, his nickname isn't just the shot doctor. Sports writers, development staff, coaches, players, and USA Basketball called him by another nickname, the man who doesn't miss.